To salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And welcome to RPtv. Today is Wednesday, March 23rd, 2021. Following New Jersey's recent ban on plastic bags, Roselle Park leaders went to all the schools in town to distribute reusable bags. Julian has the details.
On Monday, every school in the Roselle Park district got a fabric bag, but do we know why? Well, it turns out that all plastic bags will be banned all over New Jersey on May 4, 2022. Robert Gordon, Sherman, and Aldine were given 300 bags each, and the middle school and high school were given 600 bags each, and the Rosa Park Veteran Memorial Library received 300 reusable bags. This campaign was known as the Bag Up Campaign. The campaign's main goal is to promote citizens from using plastic bags to reusable bags. The Rosa Parks Council are responsible for the donation of the reusable bags. Despite us being used to plastic bags, let's just say that the Council of Roselle Park has this situation in the bag.
Despite a week of spring-like weather, winter hasn't truly gone away yet. Let's go to Cooper with the weather.
Rain showers are expected to arrive during the afternoon or early evening today and continue on and off through early Friday. The National Weather Service says the steadiest rain is likely on Thursday, with a quarter inch to a half inch falling during the day and another quarter inch to half inch at night. Even though few people enjoy soggy weather, the rain is actually needed because several counties in New Jersey have been classified as abnormally dry during the past week, and the state's southwest region has moderate drought conditions according to the latest drought monitor maps issued by the National Drought Mitigation Center. The National Weather Service says Wednesday will be mostly cloudy with highs and lows in the low 50s and rain showers arriving in the late afternoon or early evening. Temperatures will drop into the low to mid 40s Wednesday night, then climb to the mid 50s to low 60s on Thursday, with steady rain expected. On Friday, there's a chance of rain showers lingering in the morning, but skies could turn partly sunny in the afternoon, with highs reaching to the upper 50s to low 60s. The early outlook for this weekend: partly to mostly sunny skies on Saturday, with morning lows near 40 degrees, afternoon highs in the mid-50s, and overnight lows dropping to mid-30s with mostly cloudy skies. Sunday is expected to be partly sunny but chilly, with morning lows in the 30s, afternoon highs in mid to upper 40s, and temperatures dipping down to mid to upper 20s overnight.
Now it's time for announcements. Gardens Club, next meeting to be announced. We need to do work outside to get ready for the new bunny pavilion built by Mr. Chin. Also, please save glass jars for our Mother's Day project we will work on during the next meeting date when it rains. Polka, Spanish Club and Art Club will be hosting a multicultural fashion show on Wednesday, April 6th at 4 p.m. You can purchase tickets during lunches in the library. Student cost is $2. The RPHS Theater Department is pleased to invite you to the 2022 RPHS Theater production of Willy Wonka. Our performances will be March 31st at 7:30 p.m., April 1st at 7:30 p.m., and two shows April 2nd at 1 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. Log on to showtix4u.com to order your tickets. Anime Club is holding a spiritware sale. To place an order, see an Anime Club member. Cash or checks made payable to RPHS can be sent to Miss Amoroso. All orders are due by the end of day on April 7th. GSA, Gay Straight Alliance, meeting today, Wednesday, March 23rd, in room 18 after school. All are welcome. Confidentiality a must. French Club will meet Thursday, March 24th in room 3 after school. Newspaper Club will meet Thursday, March 24th in room 2 after school. Social Awareness Spirit Week. The week of April 4th to 8th, the district will hold our annual celebration with Spirit Week and culminating with Family Movie Night on Friday 4/8 at 5:30 p.m. at RPMS. Crisis Center applications for the 2022-23 school year are available to rising juniors and seniors in the class of 2023 and 2024 Google Classroom. All applications are due by April 8th. March is Women's History Month, where we honor the contributions of women throughout history. Let's go to Calliope for a video report on Queen Victoria, who oversaw and expanded the British Empire.
Princess Alexandrina Victoria of Kent grew to become one of the most influential monarchs in not only British, but world history. Born on May 24, 1819, Princess Alexandrina Victoria was born as a result of the death of her older cousin and heir to the throne, Princess Charlotte Augusta of Wales, who died giving birth to her first son. As the reigning king and father of the late Princess Charlotte, George IV had no other children. The throne passed to his younger brother William, who had 10 illegitimate children that could not sit on the throne. When King William IV died, the throne went to Princess Alexandrina Victoria, the daughter of the next brother. The throne went directly to her as her father died when she was a year old. Upon taking the throne, the 18-year-old princess adopted the name Victoria as her regnal name. The British people were enthusiastic about her as queen, as she had become extremely popular due to her various tours as a teen. She married Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha in 1839, and they had 9 children together, who went on to become monarchs of various European kingdoms and whose descendants sit on their thrones today, giving her the nickname the Grandmother of Europe. As a pair, Victoria and Albert were on the liberal side of politics and encouraged their children to be as well. They wanted to make sure their children received the finest education, especially their daughters, as Victoria's traditionally female education ill-prepared her for the duties of being the monarch of the British Empire. Victoria was the first reigning queen since Queen Anne, who died in 1714. She oversaw the industrialization of the British Empire and its prosperity throughout the 19th century. In addition to politics, Victoria popularized brides wearing white, the traditional morning wedding breakfast, keeping locks of the deceased hair, and wearing black for mourning. Queen Victoria was the longest reigning monarch in British history until 2015, when her great-great-granddaughter, the current monarch Elizabeth II, surpassed her. Today, Queen Victoria's likeness is seen everywhere, from monuments to street names, and even the Australian province of Victoria, which is named after her. She continues to influence the way the British government operates over a century after her 1901 death. As she never got involved in politics, but rather served as a figurehead for the British government, as Queen Elizabeth II currently does. Queen Victoria oversaw the modernization of the British Empire, and under her reign, the empire was at its peak. She set the precedent for how European monarchs should conduct their jobs. Today, 6 ruling European countries' monarchs are descended from Queen Victoria. They are Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, King Harold V of Norway, Queen Margrethe II of Denmark, King Felipe VI of Spain, King Carl XVI Gustaf of Sweden, and King Philippe of Belgium. Queen Victoria died on January 22, 1901, surrounded by her family. She was buried next to her husband, Prince Albert, at the Royal Mausoleum near Frogmore House, leaving behind an impressive legacy as the grandmother of Europe, and was the glue that kept her family together, as 13 years later, her grandchildren got into one of the biggest family feuds, which we know to be World War I.
Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Hey, do you like video games? Do you like hang out with people who also like video games? Hi, I'm John Gamer, and I have just the club for you. Join the video game club. Unlike most clubs, the video game club is more of a casual type of setting. You don't have to join every single meeting every week and, get kicked out of it. You would just join whenever you like. So if you have something busy, it's perfectly fine. The video game club is on every Thursday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. We have a Nintendo Switch, but you can feel free to bring your own games and consoles. We're also starting esports with Smash Bros. For more information, talk to Mr. Williamson.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and stay tuned for CNN 10.
Hi, my name is Carl Azus. It's good to see you this Wednesday, and we thank you for watching our show. Lockdowns, masks, vaccines, and mandates. There's been a flood of information and some conflicting studies concerning the steps taken to try to stop COVID. One thing the restrictions have in common, though, is that they're unpopular with the people they affect. And that problem is growing in the city of Hong Kong. This is a special administrative region of China. People in Hong Kong have had certain freedoms that mainland Chinese have not, but China's communist government says it ultimately controls Hong Kong, and like that of mainland China, the government of Hong Kong has had very strict COVID rules. Its borders have been mostly closed over the past 2 years. At one point, people who did travel had to quarantine for 3 weeks in a hotel room, and people who aren't vaccinated haven't been allowed to shop, dine out, or go to the gym, the movies, or hair salons. For the first 2 years of the pandemic, Hong Kong had a relatively low number of COVID cases. But this year, despite its restrictions, the number of cases has exploded, with thousands of people testing positive for the disease. And Hong Kong now has the highest COVID death rate in the world. Critics have said because coronavirus isn't going away, it's time for Hong Kong to relax its restrictions and try to recover from the economic consequences they've taken on one of the world's major financial centers. This week, the city's government said it would resume allowing flights from 9 countries that had been banned. Chief Executive Carrie Lam, who leads the city, said the ban isn't needed anymore since Hong Kong's COVID situation was no better than anywhere else. Residents of Hong Kong who are coming back from other countries still have to be vaccinated and still have to quarantine, but the length of that has been reduced to 1 week. Will this be enough? In the first half of this month, immigration data showed that more than 50,000 people left Hong Kong, while 7,000 came into the city.
Literally driven away. Thousands of Hong Kong residents have had enough. unable to endure life in a city which has become one of the most isolated in the world. As other countries are largely learning to live with the virus, people here are fleeing the still oppressive COVID restrictions, and they're leaving by the thousands. Even as they're on their way out, these residents asked us to hide their identities.
I think Hong Kong used to be one of the best places to be in every single aspect in general. And now it's losing a lot of the edge of this advantage.
If we don't leave, nothing will change. You cannot change the government.
They are leaving as the city is in the midst of a fifth wave and quickly running out of hospital beds. New isolation facilities are being built to house the thousands of positive cases. Hong Kong's rule that all positive cases must quarantine in a government facility like this has been pushed to the limit by the rapidly spreading Omicron variant. Many in Hong Kong are questioning why they've had to live through such harsh restrictions just for things to end like this. Like Alan, who's been running this gym for 6 years. If the city doesn't open up soon, he says his business will be dead within weeks.
I feel lonely and sad when every time I come to this gym without seeing the people here. And I look at the ground, everything just live on the ground. I just miss it all the time.
Hong Kong's chief executive Carrie Lam finally seems to be acknowledging the damage her China-led COVID policy has done to the economy and the people. On Monday, she announced the city will ease some restrictions. While the leadership hopes these changes will bring back the city's vital force, its tough zero-COVID policy and the diminished political freedoms are throwing doubts on whether they can turn back the tide. At least to them, it comes all too little, too late. Christy Lu Stout, CNN, Hong Kong.
A large and dangerous storm system is raking its way across the American South. A meteorologist with the National Weather Service says it's expected to weaken as it moves toward Georgia and North Carolina, but it's already left behind a considerable amount of damage. At least 20 tornadoes were reported across Texas and Oklahoma on Tuesday. Dozens of houses were destroyed. Tens of thousands of homes and businesses lost power. The twisters are only part of the story. Strong, straight-lined winds, flooding, large-sized hail. All of this is possible according to the National Weather Service. But it's a tornado that's been blamed for the death of one woman in Texas and widespread destruction in southern parts of the state.
Technically, a tornado is just a violent rotating column of air coming out of the bottom of a thunderstorm. But it takes a lot to get that violently rotating column to come out. All you need for a tornado really to form, though, are thunderstorms and a jet stream. That jet stream's aloft, it makes the energy. If you have moisture at the surface, dry air, cold air pushing that moisture up, you can get a tornado to form in any state. Those days where all the ingredients combined, you get the humidity, you get the dry air, you get the jet stream, you get upper energy in the jet stream, you get winds turning as you go aloft. The higher you go, the winds actually change direction. That can cause storms. Those things all cause storms to exist and get big. Those are the ingredients that cause a big tornado day. So now the EF scale, enhanced Fujita scale, starts at 0, goes only to 5, and anything above 200 miles per hour is considered an EF5 tornado. If you have a 0, you're going to lose shingles. A 1, you may lose a couple of boards on the roof. A 2, you'll lose all the windows and maybe even a wall. A 3, EF3, you will lose a couple of walls on the outside, but there will still be a part of the home standing. An F4, most of the home is gone, but you'll still see the refrigerator, you'll still see a closet, and you'll still see the bathroom. An EF5, you cannot find the house. It's completely gone. We don't know how big that Fujita scale will be, how big that tornado will be, literally until after we look at the damage. We have this almost this triangulation that no other country in the world, no other region in the world has. We have the Rocky Mountains to our west. We have the Gulf of Mexico in our south. We have Canada and very cold air masses coming down from the north. All of those things combined make Tornado Alley, typically the plains. Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, all the way to Chicago, as far south as the southeast, including Georgia and Alabama. That's basically the new or the bigger Tornado Alley. The greatest threat of a tornado is being hit by something that the tornado is moving. If you're outside or if you're not protected inside, if you get hit by a 140 mile per hour 2x4, you're going to be killed. So you need to be inside on the lowest level, somewhere in the middle of the home away from windows. When you hear the word warning and you hear your county, that's when you need to take cover. When you hear the word watch, that means something might happen today. Let's have a plan. When you hear the word warning, it's too late to make a plan. You need to already have the plan. Warning's the long word. It's the bad one.
10-second trivia. London's new Crossrail train network is also known by what name? Channel 2, Jubilee Underground, the Victoria Line, or the Elizabeth Line? Construction on the Elizabeth Line started in 2009 and continues to date. A massive engineering project, once the biggest in Europe, is finally wrapping up, and when it opens, it's expected to dramatically reduce the time it takes to get across the City of London. Crossrail is a $25 billion tube network that stretches for 62 miles. It's a mix of new tunnels and old ones running east to west beneath one of the most densely developed cities on Earth. It's currently scheduled to open in a limited capacity this May and be fully operational next spring. The project is 3 years behind schedule and took $5 billion more to build than originally estimated. But Crossrail is expected to increase London's train capacity by 10%. That might not sound like a ton, but it's the largest expansion of the city's transportation network in over 70 years. There's this pig in Connecticut named Hamlet. Yeah. He shares an enclosure with another pig named Mary, and not with the black bear that recently tried to get some bacon. But Mary fought back, at one point pinning the bear to the wall, and Hamlet, who's said to be quite the scaredy pig, got in on the action too, rushing the bear and standing his ground until the intruder realized he's not eating any pork today. If there's a problem, they're all a snout curing it. The root of all fearlessness, charging forward during it. They're more fleet of foot than pickled when they're in a pickle. Nothing fickle about the way they bear up under the trickle of trouble. They're on the double if you try to purloin some ham hocks. Ain't no ribs to spare when in that pan of pork loin. So if you're making plans for taking bacon when on the lamb, they might just flourish, might get boorish, proving they're not just ham. I kinda am though. I'm Carl Azus. Raytown South High School in Raytown, Missouri gets today's shout out, and anyone who wants a mention on our show should leave a comment at our YouTube channel.